Complete show notes on today's program, please visit elevatorradioshow.com.
You're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Hello, welcome to the Elevator Radio Show podcast, where we bring you news every week regarding elevators, escalators, moving walkways, and other stuff that goes up and down and moves people and stuff. So it's good to be here. This is show number 526. It is March 20th. It is officially the first day of spring. I've got my green garb on. I should have been wearing it last week for St. Patrick's Day. Forgot all about that. Didn't forget about St. Patrick's Day, but forgot to wish everybody happy St. Patrick's Day. So anyway, it is good to be here this Wednesday morning. I have a shorter show for you today. As I mentioned in the show notes, there are at least 3 or 4 articles that are worthy of what I like to consider your water cool talk. Basically articles that you all can read, you can discuss, you can talk amongst yourselves, you can discuss everything regarding them, and I encourage you to do that, to either avoid or prevent or to learn from. And that is kind of what this program is all about. And so do that. Please make sure that you're doing that, and don't let an article go by that you don't think could benefit somebody else or share it with somebody else. So, man, it is busy. It is busy at work. It is busy at home. My 2 oldest boys are starting their spring sports season, which includes lacrosse and also volleyball, but just busy. That starts officially this week. Spring break is next week, although they do have practices. If you're going away on spring break, enjoy it. Go someplace warm and send me photos of where you're at, because I envy you. I wish I was warm. I wish it was warm here, and hopefully Mother Nature is done dumping snow and cold weather across, North America and Canada and all that, and we start to see some green stuff popping up through the ground. So, just busy. I am trying to get caught up. I thought I saw a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's just busy. Lots of stuff going on, and I'm hoping that by 2-3 more weeks, I'll have the majority of what I need to get done, and I can kind of move on to some easier stuff and take a breather. And I'm really hoping that happens. So actually, it probably isn't going to happen until like the 3rd week in May, maybe even 2nd week in June. I don't know. Anyway, but let's make sure you take time for yourself, and I got to do the same thing. I got to practice what I preach. All right, we're going to get into the show notes shortly. We'll have you out of here pretty quickly, so stay tuned and enjoy.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Okay, first news article. This is actually a piece that was shared on a variety of different platforms or news sites. This one coming from WTTW Chicago PBS NewsHour, talking about this is why everyone should stand still on an escalator. I never knew there was ever any kind of a rule or unwritten rule that said you should walk left and stand right, because I've never seen a sign that ever does that. And anybody who would say or think that that's the case is incorrect. Only on moving walkways do I see that type of signage being applied, and that's typically only at like O'Hare Airport. But what this article points out is that by walking, it actually increased capacity, according to some news source in here that can shed more light on it. So, yeah, you know what? Just stand on the escalator, enjoy the ride. Consider it like enjoying your favorite coffee, whether that be a Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, or Folgers. So just enjoy the ride. But you can share that with anybody that you like on that. Next news article is regarding an elevator that has been out of service for quite some time due to flooding. And the Daily Collegian or Independent Collegian news source and serving the University of Toledo since 1919 has some university folk upset and frustrated because they just want to get the elevator fixed. But the reality is that with the amount of water that they had and whatnot, they've got some issues. And this is at a parking garage, so it's still important to have, but typically they're not used as much as you might think they are. I always try to use the stairs in parking garages if I can, and in hopes of just burning some more calories. Next news article: WKNS.TV, for the elderly resident rescue elevator. I didn't play this video. This is in Laredo, Texas. Apparently, a few elderly residents Friday morning, after they became trapped inside an elevator, or stall, I should say, completely safe, and elevator technicians had opened the doors to free the residents, and they were okay. Nobody was hurt, and nobody should have been hurt. Okay, next news article. Or link. Elevator constructor advocates for workers' safety regulation. I wasn't aware that Texas had or did not have any. I should rephrase this in a way, just so we are all clear. I'm not an expert at anything, so litigators out there who wish to call me to be subpoenaed or whatnot, don't call me. I will be torn apart on some by anybody's attorney, and this is all just opinion stuff. This is my own opinion. Feel free to weigh in however you'd like, and however you read the article or see fit, and that's about it. So I'm not going to try to pronounce this name of the city. Waxahachie. Elevator constructor advocates for worker safety regulations at the state capitol. You don't see this every day, excuse me, where you see an elevator constructor, somebody who is in the field, trying to advocate for stricter or some type of licensing program that qualifies elevator constructors or elevator mechanics and technicians to work on equipment, which makes perfect sense. Texas apparently, or at least this part of Texas, is not alone in this type of situation that they're in. New York is in the same boat. So, and not, unfortunately, doesn't always mean you're going to have a safe elevator if you've got somebody licensed to work on it. But there's a better chance of that happening if you do. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so their next two articles, I'm not really going to get into the nitty gritty of both of these articles. They involve the hospital elevator that injured a nurse in Texas. But I do want you to read these, okay? Because it's, again, as I mentioned in previous programs, I've never seen an accident like this basically put into the public light like it is, and how it's being reported on it. Just something I've never seen before. And as you see these, these that go back and forth and all sorts of stuff popping up. I'll let you read this on your own. The only thing I want to share here is some of the information in the report, allegedly, supposedly, the consultant on the project. There was one note in there that there was no reference on whether or not any of the upgrades were deemed to be safety related. And my whole point with reading that or understanding it is that, do we have to put in our litigation or our reports that, your elevator could kill somebody or maim somebody? I do that. Okay. I do that when I am sent a photograph of an interlock being jumped out or not working, and literally I let them know. I will tell them, and not that I'm doing it for any kind of litigation purposes or to protect myself. I'm doing it so that somebody, so somebody pays attention. I don't think too many customers, I think that would open your eyes, right? If somebody came back to me, I said, hey, I don't know, whatever, my boiler is, here's a picture of my boiler, can you come service it? And they come back and say, you know what, that boiler has a history or has been recalled, it is going to blow your building up. I'd act on that in an instant. So read those two articles, and that was my only, when I read the whole thing, there's two of them in there. is do we have to try to become experts at when equipment may or may not be so dangerous? I guess we are experts at that, I should say. So each in our own way. So yeah, but it's amazing how much information is being just like shared in this whole thing. It's a huge mess, obviously, and I'm sure it's not the end of any kind of articles that are posted on it, but just has you kind of thinking like, man, this thing is going down so many different rabbit holes, and it's definitely not a good situation, especially considering the injured nurse and the severity of how badly she was, injured. So anyway, and again, I don't know what the details of that were either. So, but it's never seen an article or a news story like this ever basically get to this point where it's just, one article after another. So anyway, let us all, read and learn and do our best to make sure accidents like this don't happen. But read it, discuss it with, those that you work with, and that's all I have on that one. Next news article, girl that fell down shaft talks about nightmare. I have no idea how an elevator passenger car could open doors or they could get out of the elevator. And her and her friend, and literally just, jump out. I do not know how that works or how it could happen. I'm sure somebody is investigating that right now, but it just proves and shows how important door restrictors or extended tow guards to prevent anybody from jumping out of an elevator and then falling back into the opening are in what they do and their purpose. But when you look at the elevator, you think, how could that happen? Or how could these girls just open the doors and get out? But they did. So, yeah, it's scary. She is so lucky to be alive. Apparently she fell 30 feet into the basement shaft, fracturing her leg and breaking her pelvis. So, not good at all. Scary. Okay, closer to home in Illinois, Rockford has a new ordinance that will save Rockford owners money on their elevator inspections. This news footage, I swear, I think it's from like South Carolina or something like that. The stock footage, I think. I could be wrong, but it's just interesting. But anyway, apparently the city of Rockford is going to be taking over their elevator inspections, reducing the cost of what typically could be charged to building owners of $300, $400 to about $122. So if cost is the only incentive to taking control of your own inspection program, that's a little concerning. So I have no problem with it being a revenue source or something, but let's do it right. Let's make sure we're not focusing only on cost alone, and more importantly, the quality of the inspections to do that. Like I said in previous programs, I've got 2 furnaces. I get a bill from Cook County in Illinois. Nobody comes to look at them. It's so stupid. I have to pay. It's not a lot of money, but for each furnace I got to pay a yearly fee, a license fee. So there was a day when the inspector would come in, put a sticker on it, and then with the new year, there's not that anymore. And then they graduated to the inspector coming in and writing with a marker, the date he was in on the unit itself. And now it's come to just getting a bill in the mail. So that's what I don't want to see happen. And I hope it doesn't happen in Rockford to that level. So hopefully they get some good guidance from somebody that can help them out. Next news article, BART escalator fix comes with a $96 million price tag. There is work that is going to be done there apparently in San Francisco, and at their regular board meeting Thursday morning, they did approve a plan to spend $96.5 million to replace 41 escalators at stations along San Francisco's Market Street corridor. Now, for the most part, for those of you that were not aware, there's an association out there called APTA, and that is actually I don't remember what it stands for, but it's basically transits and entities that deal with airports, and they've come up with a specification that is a heavy-duty spec for elevators, for escalators, and those are the kind of specs you want to see in these kind of locations being utilized and used. So hopefully that it helps out. Airport officials stern warning after video goes viral. This is coming from the mirror.co.uk, and this is the video where on the moving walkways you've got these people that are laying down and pretending to swim. Well, thank goodness finally, the airport has come out and said, "Hey, listen, this is not safe. You better not do this. A whole bunch of bad things can happen, and if you ever see anybody doing crap like this at an airport, please stop them and let them know that, hey, listen, you could really get hurt or get pulled in or get caught, and it's just not a toy to be played with." So, gotta love the viral videos. It's just the stupidest thing get pulled into the world, and it's unfortunate. Chicago Tribune has an article, How Phone Spam Turned Our Favorite Devices Against Us. How many of you out there just get these random phone calls throughout the day from numbers that appear or look as if they are from people you know or very close to your own, but they're not? What is the deal with that? I mean, come on. It's ridiculous that anybody would actually pick up or would actually press one for whatever reason to find out how they can become an Amazon, whatever, Amazon, what the heck is it called? A reviewer or whatever. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I can't block them fast enough, and I only make it like 4 or 5 a day. But here's a situation, and I did report on it a while ago, or cover it, where somebody calls them, robocaller called into an elevator, and the person on the other line's going, "Hey, we have to." You needed $299 in IT charges, and then the guy in the elevator said, "Hey, dude, you're calling an elevator," and they went to his door. So, his point was that he thought an elevator was a sacred place for peace and quiet, but no, it wasn't. Even the elevator's not safe from the old robocallers out there. So, yeah, you know what? I just don't get it. I don't get how that works ever. So, next Chicago Elevator Association meeting is 4/4/2019. That means it's next week. So anyway, Unitech's coming in to present. So mark your calendars for that. A long time ago, we did report on a inspector in Manitoba, the name that is on all the elevator inspection certificates. Well, apparently, Manitoba elevator permits, the viralness of it are going down. I didn't realize that actually people got tattoos of Cheryl Lasky, which I don't know if this is actually true or not. But that is the signature that appears on the majority or all of elevator permits in Manitoba. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But apparently, as of April 1st, the iconic permits will soon be removed. So, but apparently she's got a lot of fans. So to each their own. It's interesting to see just how crazy people can be. Not just our friends in the north. So, and the last news article of the day hey, if you're in need of education or your QEI certification educational units, please visit NASA International. There's no better place to get your continuing education credits than through QEI. They offer so many different programs, so many different opportunities to get your credits. So consider becoming a member as well. They've got a great newsletter that goes out every month. Bob Shepard does a great job at putting it together. I am behind on reading on the last edition, but I do have it in my inbox. Looking forward to it. Always insightful, always some great contributors. So encourage you to become a member and seek out your credits, educational stuff through there. So, well, that's going to do it for today's program, everybody. Next week is our prize pack giveaway, so stay tuned to that one, and we have you out of here in no time. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Print out the stories and talk about them at the water cooler. Be safe out there. Take care. Bye-bye.